Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new Talkin Movies. As always, I am your host, the real Geno Reynolds. And thanks to one of my most favorite followers, Desiree, she informed me that a movie I didn't think was coming out for a while was on demand and going to be on sale because of where she works. She knew that. And this movie I've been curious about, even though I don't really know the show it's based on. I know why they're doing this, movie. This is the Banana Splits movie that we're going to be talking about. And it's it's a horror movie based on a kid show from the late 60s. And it's about animatronics, and the animatronics go bad. And of course, if that sounds familiar, of course whoever made this movie is trying to jump on the Five Nights at Freddy's train before they have their movie, being that they have all the delays and everything they've had and rewrites and everything about that. People are going to jump on the bandwagon, and the Banana Splits movie seems to be one of the more well-known ones to do it. What this movie is about, it's about this kid, and it's his birthday. And he may or may not be a little too old for the Banana Split show. And his mom and jerk father and brother are going to take him to a live taping of the show. And they bring along one of, it's supposed to be his best friend, but then they invited this other kid who kind of really doesn't want to go because the other kid seems to be the only other friend that likes this show. But they go to this live taping, and thanks to bad programming, an update to the animatronics turns them murderous. And the reason they go crazy is because the show is getting canceled after that day. And that's the setup for this movie. And yeah, it kind of sounds like Five Nights at Freddy's a little bit, but instead of a pizza place, it's a show. And you know, I won't say it shares too many similarities to that, even though it sounds like it's trying to copy Five Nights at Freddy's, because it doesn't have like this, other than the show is from the late 60s, it doesn't really have a history. This is one of those horror comedy movies that for the most part seems to get it right. Now, I'm not going to say that this is as good as, say, a Ready or Not or a Happy Death Day to You, but man, did I have some fun with this movie. It's just one of those silly movies where something gruesome happens, and then before or after that gruesome things happen, the killer, being one of these four animatronics, will say something just silly or something from the show, or it just worked for me. Is it a predictable movie? Yes. This is one of those horror movies where you can categorize characters into like three different categories. There's the ones you know are going to survive, the ones that have to die, and the ones that are probably going to die. And that's kind of how they categorize the characters in this. But yeah, this movie just seems to nail the comedy right, especially just with the way the animatronics act. I mean, they'll do the things like where they'll all of a sudden be in the hallway, but then they won't do anything. But then when, stuff really starts to go down, the first person to get it is not surprising who gets it first when you meet the character. And when he gets it, you don't see it yet. You don't see that he's gotten it, but he's gotten it. And then there's other characters like the human sidekick to the animatronics. It's basically like a Steve from Blue's Clues, or it's a human character interacting with these non-human characters, and he's a bit of a jerk, and you're just like, yeah, he's gonna get it too. And then there's characters, again, are going to survive, but the ones that you don't think are going to survive, that maybe don't deserve to die, but you kind of figured they're going to anyway, because somebody has to. That's not just the predictable jerks. They die in some fairly creative ways. And one thing, like, okay, one of the big first kills that we see, I mean, it's not the first, but it involves a magic trick, and just the way the animatronic acts, it just worked for me, man. This movie is so silly and dumb. And do I recommend paying the $6 for it to rent it? No. Wait till it comes to a video store or something. But I had a $6 credit on Vudu, so it was free for me, and that was perfect. But just when this stuff starts happening, you get to wonder, okay, what is the overall end game of these animatronics? But you got to remember they're programmed, so it's, while there is technically someone behind the scenes of it all, it's not his doing, pretty much. He's not like the human isn't the mastermind. They're just animatronics that have gone bad and with bad programming. But when it comes to those animatronics, you kind of know where the twists and turns are going to happen. It's not a very unpredictable movie, but man, is it a lot of fun. You wonder what their end game is, and you wonder, are they going to, kill the children? I mean, and so I liked what they did with that. I won't say this movie scared me at all. But there is some creepy stuff in it. I mean, it definitely gets very violent. They don't hold back on the violence. Decapitations, embalments, just all sorts of stuff happens in this movie, and it's definitely violent. But then again, the stuff that's happening around it and the things that the animatronics are saying are kind of funny. So it just works. It just worked for me, man. The end game of the animatronics, the thought of it is creepy. The way they handled it isn't that creepy. Even though the idea of it is pretty disturbing of what's going on. But for the most part, the movie is just a silly, violent good time. And again, I'm not going to put it up there as high as some of the better ones, but it's not bad either. It's not a bad movie. It's just a silly, violent, entertaining film. And again, I wouldn't recommend it at full price rental that it's at right now at like $6, but if you could rent it for like $3 or wait for it to come to the video store, I would definitely check it out. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Geno YouTube channel, like this video, and if you've seen this movie and have anything to say about the Banana Splits movie, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Till next time, I'm your host, the Real Geno, Geno Reynolds. See you later.